Are you ready to start making YouTube videos, but the idea of editing really is just a stopper for you? Well, if that's the case, in this video, I'm going to teach you a really simple way of doing YouTube videos without editing. So the technique I'm going to share with you is something I call as live. You're going to hit record and then you're going to do your video as if you were live. So when I worked in television, we would have live events and then we would have recorded events. And even with the most seasoned veteran reporter or anchor on TV, there was something different about knowing it was recorded versus live. Because when you're going live, if mistakes happen, you have to roll with it. If you kind of mess up your words, you have to go with it. Whereas opposed to if you know you're doing it on video and you can do, okay, hang on, take 3, oh, hang on, take 5. Because I can tell you, there's times where I do more takes on the close or just saying my name than the other parts. So it's kind of tricking your brain into, hey, when I hit record, brain, we're going to keep going as if we were live. So the first step is plan ahead. Just take out whatever you write notes on. I use Apple Notes, but you could also just use Journal, whatever it is. And just plan out what the video is going to be about. Like, what do you want to cover? What is the topic? I'm a big fan of one video, one idea, or better saying one idea per video. You can have subtopics, but if you try and do too much, it may just make it harder. So plan out your video about what is this video going to be about and what do I want to talk about? And by doing that ahead of time, when you hit record and you're treating it as if you're live, it will help you get through it. So now let's break down your video into 3 parts. Your intro, the body of it, which will probably be more points, and the close. So the intro, think about how you want to get into it. Is it going to be with a question? Is it going to be a bold statement? Is it going to be sharing your expertise of something that then sets up the rest of the video? You can talk about pain points. Really, it's what the viewer is expecting when they click on the video. Think about that. Give it some time. Maybe even practice it a couple of times. How do you want to get into the video? It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's more about conveying what the video is about so they know, oh, okay, this is exactly what we're going to talk about. Again, planning that out will help you the rest of the video, again, do it as if it's live. The next step is the body of the video. Have 3 to 5 points. Don't get hung up on the numbers. What if you have 7? What if you have 12? What if you have 22? That's okay. Have a few points planned so you can hit those. And again, this is really important if like you're an informational type of channel or educational or something like that. So think about the points. Whether you script or use a prompter or use bullet points, I'm a fan of bullet points. I have bullet point notes for this. I don't script it out, but again, that's what's more comfortable with me. How you do it is not as important as just making sure this is the body of it. What are the specifics you want to talk about? What are maybe some sub points you want to get into, and have that all planned out. That's in your body. All right, we talked about the intro, your hook, how you're going to get into the video. We talked about the body of it. Now we're going to talk about the close. Typically, you want some type of CTA, which is just fancy letters for call to action. What do you want the viewer to do? Do you want to ask them to subscribe to the channel? Do you want to ask them to leave a specific comment about something you've talked about? Do you want to say, hey, by the way, if you want to sign up for my webinar or something like that, there's a link down below. Or do you want to just point them to the next video, which may be like a companion piece to the one you're doing? It doesn't have to be, but you can always keep that viewing session going by saying, hey, make sure you check out the video coming up next. The biggest mistake I think you can make, and I see people do this all the time, is trying to do too much with your close. I've seen channels of all different sizes get to the end of the video and say, hey, now make sure you leave a comment and like this video and make sure you subscribe. And by the way, sign up for this and and watch this video. It's too much. It's too much. Try and hone in on one thing. Now, there's a lot of different ways you could record your as live. I'm going to recommend trying Riverside, which happens to be the sponsor of this video. Riverside makes it so easy. Once you've got your account, you sign in, And you'll see yourself there regardless of what camera you're using, as long as it's connected to Riverside, which can even use a mobile phone. You want to make sure your camera's on, your mic's on, you go to your studio, and you'll see yourself. And it's as easy as hitting record. But once you've recorded inside Riverside, it's so easy, even if you wanted to do a little editing there. They have a text-based editor, which makes it super simple. You just highlight the text you don't want. So let's say you took 3 times to say your name, like sometimes I do. All you have to do is highlight that, cut it out, and it's edited for you. So yeah, you're editing it, but it's very, very minor. Now, Riverside has some really cool AI tools that will help you after you've done recording. So go to the video you just recorded and click on Show Notes. You're going to get keywords. You're going to get like a description you could use. You're going to get suggested titles. And you're even going to get chapters that you can copy and paste and put in your YouTube description if you want to. And if you want to take the one video you just did and chop it up into vertical videos, Riverside can do that as well. Click on Magic Clips and it will automatically, using its Magic AI tool, will turn your long form video into vertical videos. So if you're looking for a way to record your videos, try Riverside and make sure you use my code Kevin Colby and you can save 15% off any paid plan. There's a link to Riverside down in the description. Okay, another thing is think about any visuals you want to show. You could literally do slides like, in Canva, you can do a presentation or Google Slides or whatever you use. And it could simply just be text to reinforce a point, or maybe you want to do a screenshot of something you're talking about. Maybe it's, you're talking about real estate or cooking or something like that. Now, if you don't want to do graphics and you just want to do a visual, just hold it up to the camera. So let's say I want to talk about this DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Well, I literally just show this while I'm talking about it. I say how cool it is, blah, blah, blah. And now that's part of my as live video, and I don't even have to worry about editing this in later. Again, it all comes down to the planning of the video before you ever hit record. Now, as you're planning out your as live video, also be thinking about your title and your thumbnail. I'm not going to get way into that on this video, but I would have some title ideas so you can just kind of keep you focused on what your video is going to be about. Thumbnails, a lot of times I'm shooting my thumbnail as I'm also shooting the video. So I may like pause and go, or something like that I may use later. A lot of times I'm also just grabbing my iPhone and I'm using my iPhone to take pictures that then I'll turn into my thumbnail. But again, just be thinking about that because we want to make it easy when you're done. All right, something else you need to really do, and it's almost as important as what you're going to talk about, is schedule your shoot. Here's my experience. If you're still new to this and you're just getting started, or maybe you've gotten started, you're struggling, if you don't take the time to make your video, you're gonna find excuses. I get it. Life is gonna happen. We have a special needs son and his schedule dictates my schedule a lot, and that's okay. If you can, schedule your time, and I would schedule a little bit more time than you think you need. Well, Kevin, I'm just going to hit record and talk. Right. So if you think it's going to take an hour and you haven't done this, I would block out 3 to 4 hours. And if you don't need all that time, that's okay. But it's better to block it out and commit to it. What works for you? And maybe you work a 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with that. You may need to block out time on a Saturday or something. But I'm telling you, if you schedule it, if you make time to make it, you'll probably make it. Now, what if you mess up while you're recording? I mean, literally, you say the wrong thing, or you just have to, you're stumbling over your words like I can do. Just roll with it. Again, by doing this as live, it has more of a realness to it. And yeah, you may get the occasional person going, well, this would look better if you edit it, but you know what? You're not producing for them. They're not even watching the video for the right thing. So if you make a mistake, that's okay. But again, in the pre-planning, thinking everything out, you'll have some ideas in your mind and you can just go with it. And I'm telling you, it's just freeing to be able to do this. So if you mess up, just give yourself grace and keep rolling. Resist the idea of stopping and starting it over. I'm okay with that. I mean, this video was done in several different takes, partially because my battery died on my camera in the way of it. In producing it. But what I would recommend is once you hit record, just go mistakes and all. So now your as live video is done. You've downloaded it and you want to upload it to YouTube. Now, one of the things I'm going to recommend you think about is making it a podcast. So it's really going to be a video podcast. And you have that option in YouTube. You can actually turn any video, any playlist into a podcast. But one of the things that will do, this is like a little bonus tip, it can extend your reach for your videos and your channels because YouTube Music is the home for YouTube Podcast. See where I'm going with this? So it brings in more eyeballs to your video and your channel. So make sure that's something you think about when you're uploading it. You create a playlist, you make it a podcast, and you can extend the reach and the audience for your video. So now your video is done and it's on YouTube. What next? Well, check out the video on the screen now, and I'll walk you through the key things you need to do after every upload, again, to help your video get seen and help hopefully you grow on YouTube as well. I hope this has helped you, and I'll see you in the next video.